ladies and gentlemen, we kick off a dynamic program of speakers. We start with the official opening ceremony featuring remarks by strategic partners and sapphire sponsors of this great gathering, followed by the opening address from the Secretary General of OPEC, the keynote address by our Honorable Minister and patron of the Namibia International Energy Conference, Honorable Tom Alwendo, our Minister of Mines and Energy, followed by some high-level panel discussions, fireside chats, presentations from local and international industry experts, with the intent to paste a rich tapestry of the most poignant issues of the energy sector today.
I think it's important that you underscore this and make mention of it, right? Because we all are present here to understand the theme that we have for this conference over the next few days. Reimagine a resource-rich Namibia, turning possibility into prosperity. And for many of you who have attended previous conferences, you'd be well aware of the transformation that's taken place within Namibia's economy, shown a great amount of resilience, how we've also responded to making sure that as we tap into the opportunities in energy, we ensure that we prioritize industrialization in this region and this country, but also prioritizing the ongoing concerns around sustainability. And for many of you who are present here today, you'll have an opportunity to fast track those conversations, implement those solutions, and most importantly, continue to engage on supportive ideas that we can share. As we know, Afra, as true Africans, not only do we applaud when someone comes on stage, but at times there's a sense of ululating. Yes. At times there's a sense of a celebratory mood. And given that this is an energy conference, I certainly think that we need to set the bar quite high in maintaining the energy, setting the tone and the theme, and of course showing acknowledgement and support for one woman who has ensured that all of us here in the room can be great partners in achieving the energy goals of Namibia and the continent overall. Please warmly, and when I say warmly, bear in mind it's about 30 degrees outside, so we're trying to compete with the temperature. Warmly welcome the CEO of Rich Africa Consulting, Ms. Salma Shimutikweni.
Allow me to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed officials, following protocol, including Honorable Tom Alwendo, Minister of Mines and Energy of the Republic of Namibia, Honorable Cornelia Shilunga, Deputy Minister of Mines and Energy, and our esteemed international guest, Dr. Ben Youssef, the Head of Energy Studies at OPEC, Distinguished Minister Gabriel Banga Obiang Lima from Equatorial Guinea, members of the Diplomatic Corps, leadership of the investment community. Your presence here underscores the importance of our collective efforts in shaping the future of energy in Namibia and beyond. I extend my gratitude to our strategic partner, the African Energy Chamber, led by NJ Ayuk, the Executive Chairman of the Chamber, and our sapphire sponsors, Chevron, RMB, and Shell, and all other sponsors and members of the media. Your unwavering support is instrumental in realizing our shared vision of sustainable energy development. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a warm and heartfelt welcome. Today marks a pivotal moment in our journey towards reimagining Namibia's future, where we aim to transform the abundant possibilities of our resource-rich nation into tangible prosperity for all. As we gather here amidst the echoes of innovation and the whispers of ambition, I'm reminded of a powerful African proverb that resonates deeply with our theme. Tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. It speaks to the resilience and determination ingrained within us, urging us to remain steadfast in our pursuit of greatness, despite the challenges that may arise. Our theme, Reimagining Resource-Rich Namibia, Transforming Possibilities into Prosperity, encapsulates our collective vision for a future where Namibia emerges as a beacon of prosperity and progress in the global energy landscape. Just as a skilled artisan transforms raw materials into a masterpiece, so too do we aspire to harness the latent potential within our nation's borders and shape it into a force for positive change. I am deeply honored to stand before you today, following in the footsteps of visionary leaders who have dedicated their lives to the advancement of our beloved Namibia. Today, we stand on the shoulders of giants, poised to chart a course towards a future defined by innovation, collaboration, and development. I believe that investing in human capital through education and knowledge sharing will lead to development and sustainability. Early exposure to opportunities cultivates fertile ground for future prosperity. Therefore, it is in this vein that we launched the Future Energy Leaders Legacy Program that allows 8 young people to be a part of this journey with us. Thank you to Subsea 7 for contributing to the upliftment of the youth in Namibia. I would like to ask the 8 young people to please stand, and if you can just give them a round of applause. This is over and above the graduates and the interns who join us annually to assist in putting to the conference together. Together, we possess the power to shape the future of energy in Africa and beyond, leveraging our collective expertise and resources to propel Namibia to new heights of success. Reflecting on the strategic sessions of day 1, which delved into key areas such as local content and the future energy landscape of Namibia, I'm filled with optimism for the discussions and insights that lie ahead. The discoveries made within our borders have not only reshaped the African exploration landscape, but also ignited a spark of hope for a better, brighter tomorrow. As we embark on this 2-day journey of transformation, I invite each of you to partner with us as we pave the way for a brighter future. Welcome to the 6th edition of the Namibia International Energy Conference 2024, where together we dare to dream and together we shall soar.
Salma, thank you very much for those welcoming remarks. We look forward to our partnership today. And to officially open the ceremony this morning, we have several partners and sponsors who have assisted in the growth and development of the energy sector. Our first remarks will be by the National Oil Company partner, represented by Epson Wanguta, the Interim Managing Director of the National Petroleum Company of Namibia. Allow me a few moments to share around this distinguished professional, a true son of the Namibian soil, who brings his invaluable knowledge, experience, and expertise to the Namibian National Petroleum Corporation as its interim managing director. He's well known to us, having previously served as deputy governor at the Bank of Namibia. With outstanding qualifications from well-known educational institutions, he carries a wealth of wisdom and experience from his various roles on national and international boards, where his dedication to advancing economic prosperity and financial matters is nourished. We're also grateful for the partnership with NAMCOR, who is a sponsor of this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Epson Wanguta as he delivers the NOC partner remark.
It is really an honor for me to be here. Honorable Tom Aluendo, Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Cornelia Shilunga, Deputy Minister of Mines and Energy, His Excellency Gabriel Banga Obiang Lima, the Minister of Mines and Hydrocarbons of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, our Petroleum Commissioner, His Excellency Haitham Al-Ghais, Secretary General of OPEC, Dr. Bjensef, Head of Energy Studies at OPEC, the distinguished guests, captains of the industry, experts, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a very welcome to Namibia. Namibia is a country well known for its cultural diversity, beautiful landscapes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this beautiful country of Namibia. We are now becoming a potential energy hub. Now, as we are talking about energy hub, Namibia is getting well known for its prolific Orange Basin, of which recent oil discoveries hold a sizable hydrocarbon resources. In fact, about 72 hours ago, we at NAMCOR, we released a media statement updating the nation and the entire world of possible and sizable hydrocarbons that has been discovered in the Mopane complex in Pearl 83 with our JV partners, Gulf, which is our operator, and Custos. We are equally excited that our preliminary understanding of the reservoir suggests good porosities and permeabilities, as evidenced by the well-logged results that are exceeding our expectations, thereby also cementing our belief that indeed this discovery is of sizable, is a sizable discovery. I need to admit that for years, NAMCOR has been at the forefront of our country hydrocarbon exploration. Our technical team has been spending time and hours to understand the data and promoting the country potential. In 2018, we commenced with a project that we call Prospect Inventory. And the focus of this project was essentially to do the mapping, to do the interpreting and gathering of diverse prospects and leads different play types of offshore Namibia. It is as a result of this data gathering, data interpretation, that most of the discoveries has been made. It is therefore indeed a dream come true for NAMCOR to see how the petroleum industry in Namibia is now buzzing after years of promotion, after years of exploration and collaboration, especially between NAMCOR and the Ministry of Mines and Energy. We now know for certain that these discoveries is just the beginning. NAMCOR anticipates more discoveries still to come. In fact, for this year, starting from November, with our partners, we are expecting drillings to start taking place with our JV partners such as Chevron, Rhino Resources, and BW Energy. But as we are doing this, we also know great challenges are still awaiting us, which is a successful appraisal, development, and eventually moving into the production. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's conference compels every one of us who are gathered here in this room to answer the question, how can we turn these possibilities into prosperity for every Namibian? This is a very crucial and critical question that we need to think about. As we are engaging in technical discussion and also sharing the industry insight, it is imperative for us as we are navigating through this road to success, especially developing the upstream sector. The key question is that, how do we ensure that we bring this hydrocarbon to the surface? And certainly as we are doing this, we need to ensure that how do we make sure that Namibians, ordinary Namibians, benefit from this resource? I think is very critical, particularly for a country that has got major challenges of, for instance, high unemployment among the youth, inequality. We need to work together and exchange ideas and put the necessary policy framework in place to ensure that this resource benefit the ordinary Namibians on the ground. Therefore, in my conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I implore each and every one of us to engage in a spirit of collaboration and problem solving at all fronts, as the task that lies ahead requires teamwork and require collaborative effort.
Thank you kindly to the CEO of NAMCOR for giving us some insight and, of course, underscoring what it is that we need here today. And as he's highlighted, it's all about teamwork, it's all about collaborative effort, all on the back of the certainty and policy stability that we do see in a nation like Namibia. And this has been underscored by a myriad of investors who continue to be key partners, not only to Namibia's economy, but even to gatherings of such nature. Well, one of our Sapphire sponsors has done exactly that by continuing to drill for opportunities and, of course, hydrocarbon drilling and explorative opportunities that exist in the Orange committed to the country, and even further so, ensuring that they actively participate in sustainability studies to fully harness how best we grow, not only the economy, but the opportunity in the region. I'd like to welcome our next speaker who will give us some insight, someone who has more than 2 decades of experience within the energy space, right across the spectrum in developed and developing economies, responsible for the role, function, and opportunities not only in Namibia, but in Suriname as well. The Namibia Country Manager for Chevron International Exploration and Production. Please warmly welcome to the front of the stage, Mr. Chana Kurukula Zuria.
Honorable Minister Alwindo, Deputy Minister Shilunga, Minister Gabriel Obiang Lima, distinguished leaders, partners, esteemed colleagues. Let me start off by congratulating Selma and her team for organizing this amazing, one-of-a-kind event, which is celebrating its 6th year. But more importantly, I would like to applaud Selma for being an exceptional ambassador for Namibia. You represent a set of values we can all look up to. It has been a privilege to get to know you and work with you. On behalf of my Chevron colleagues in Africa and worldwide, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 6th edition of the Namibia International Energy Conference. This conference promises to shape and help us understand the trajectory of Namibia's energy landscape. Chevron is excited to participate in Namibia's offshore exploration activities through our 80% working interest in PEL 90, with our partners NAMCOR and Custos Energy. We have been warmly welcomed by the government of the Republic of Namibia, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, NAMCOR, and all the governmental institutions and our partners who we have engaged thus far. Perhaps, even more importantly, we have been warmly welcomed by our communities, NGOs, bilateral agencies, and civic organizations with whom we've been able to forge some meaningful partnerships, demonstrating our commitment to the communities that host us. I would like to take this opportunity to emphasize a few key points, or truisms, if I may. The demand for energy is growing, and the world continues to demand affordable, reliable, ever cleaner energy that fuels economic prosperity and reduces energy inequality. This energy demand can only be met if we harness our collective ingenuity to develop all forms of energy, both in the traditional and the new energy space. The type or form of energy the world needs, nor the manner in which an energy molecule needs to be delivered, is not a binary decision. To meet the global energy demand, we need all forms of energy. Chevron is committed to delivering on this edict, demonstrated by our significant investments in both the traditional oil and gas business and the new energy space, which focuses on methane management, carbon capture, hydrogen, new energies, and offsets. That said, the draws, and the competition on our limited capital budgets is intense. Capital allocation decisions will be judicious and will consider many factors far beyond pure economics. Sanctity of contracts, legal frameworks, collaborative spirit, partnership, and fairness are all attributes that will be carefully considered when making significant investment decisions. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the dimensions that truly set Namibia apart. Let me highlight how thankful we as Chevron are for the partnership and the collaboration we have witnessed firsthand with the Ministry of Mines and Energy. On behalf of Chevron, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Minister Alwindo, the Executive Director, Mr. Panda Itindi, and the Petroleum Commissioner, Maggie Shino, for their leadership, constructive partnership, and collaborative spirit. Namibia has a bright future, and this is not an accident. This manifests itself in her talented people, the well-structured institutions, and the leadership vision that makes this bright future a reality. Finally, in closing, Chevron would be honored to be a part of this journey, to do so respectfully through collaborating with our partners to ensure that shared prosperity is delivered in all its dimensions, including local content development, to ultimately benefit and serve the people of Namibia.
Thank you very much, sir. Truly appreciate the opening remarks that you've shared with us and helping understand how it is really aimed at a shared vision, shared value, and shared outcomes. And I think what we need to underscore there is shared, because what's beautiful about this is that it offers opportunity for Africans to own the narrative, to own a part of how our resources are managed, controlled, and of course, how it is that we are able to extrapolate value from it. And most importantly, what we have seen is that it's when we take ownership of our stories and share them with the rest of the world that we truly can influence the trajectory of the status quo and, of course, of the future. And one man who has done that, much like Salma, has often shared this knowledge, information, insight, opportunity, and all the plethora of implications in between through his books. He's a best-selling author, someone who has a real bold passion for everything to do with oil, energy, and gas across the continent, and most importantly, has also played a significant role at the forefront of leading and driving transactions, understanding the implications both from a tax, policy, and socio-economic and development point of view. More than that, much like many of you in the room, he's a real connector of making sure that we walk this journey together, and even through some differences and challenges that we might experience, but that the outcome for all remains positive. Ladies and gentlemen, please warmly welcome to the front of our stage our next speaker, who is a strategic partner for our conference here today, the Executive Chairman of the Africa Energy Chamber, Mr. N.J. Ayuk.
Honorable Minister Alwindo, Deputy Minister Honorable Cornelia Shilunga, Selma, my brother Edson from NAMCOR, energy companies, and Vicky. It is indeed an honor to be here. But most importantly, it is an honor that Selma gives us this opportunity to be here. My friend and brother, Shana, talked about 6 years, 6th edition, brother, 12 years. 12 years of putting Namibia at the forefront. 12 years when nobody gave hope, believed, 12 years of believing. 12 years, Selma, of driving it, 12 years of convincing skeptics that it is possible. 12 years. 12 years of keep forging that road that sometimes get narrowed and people don't believe. 12 years of keep driving a belief that in the land of the brave, everything is possible. With those 12 years of a lot of this work and many decades tend to believe Chevron did the first discovery in this country. Or is it before I was born? Gee, 1975, 76, 74? I don't even know. But they are back. And it makes sense because now is the time that we move forward in driving more exploration. Now is the time that we harness the ingenuity of Total Energies, Shell, Garb. Garb. I was just making fun of Adriano. I said, the guy, Garb found, when was the last time Garb had a discovery? But they found it in Namibia. So any person that drills has a great discovery. So it's no longer me saying those three very beautiful words, drill, baby, drill. You are doing it, and it is working. Minister, as we go forward, I believe you would hear a lot from this audience. They're going to hold you accountable. They're going to push you. And we're going to ask for better fiscals. We're going to ask for better enabling environment. We're going to ask for sanity of contracts. And we're going to ask for stabilization. We're going to ask for these tools that is going to make these energy producers drive up this development and really happen. And what's beautiful about this industry is that it works in collaboration, it works in partnership, brings best practices that have been acquired from different places. Whether you look at Exxon, with what it's doing in Guyana, and looking at how they could rally those stories, but also what we do when it comes to empowerment. You know, the idea of empowering citizens, it should be at the core of this industry. And that's why it's really important that we recognize Namibians that have been at the forefront, not just summer. I always make fun of one Namibian that I will meet everywhere around the world. He would be the last person in the room. He kept driving. He kept believing. Kept saying that we have asset, we have potential, and we hope it happen. Where is knowledge? Knowledge stand up. Where is knowledge, Gatti? That's knowledge. He kept believing. He kept driving this country. And we must give breath. The idea that in Africa, we always spend time knocking us down, we always spend time kicking us down, it's wrong. We need to believe and lift your people up. This is time for Namibians to believe in themselves. Stop tearing each other down. Lift them up. Lift them up. I remember being in the United States in the old Negro anthem. They said, lift every voices, lift every Namibian, that you may all drive this industry and progress and stick together and walk together and struggle together and produce and get those good God-fearing jobs that will make each one of you be better, because it's not about local content. It's not about handouts. It's not about NGOs telling you that they have the best for you. It is that for those markets, limited government, dignity, and the good dignity that you find in work, in a job, and that prosperity comes from that. That's when families work. That's when this industry works for all of us. And nobody could have done that besides Marcio Melo, that kept believing in this country. And you all could look at Marcio, he's crazier than me, but he believed in the geology. Thank you, Marcio. Thank you for everything. And I'll close with this. We are going to push and drive, and I think the energy industry knows very well how to get local content or content, I would like to say Africa content or Namibian content done. But it's going to take everybody to work with this. But integration without preparation is frustration. Each one of us is going to have to do its part. So keep moving. We at the Chamber, we're very happy to announce today, in partnership with most of the energy companies and my wife, with her push, we're going to be doing 30 to 50 Namibians partnering with energy companies to get them on the job training today. The move towards first oil starts today. Don't you back down, stay strong, network, keep walking, never, ever bet against the land of the brave.
Thank you so much, NJ, for reminding us of the many years of challenge, commitment, consistency, and dedication in building the future of Namibia's vibrant energy sector. Indeed, you are right. The time is now as we forge ahead. And I think it was when I was moderating your session that I first heard the drill, baby, drill. This time you've actually said that we are doing it. Not only are we doing it, it is important for us to believe and to continue to lift one another up. And I love your reference to lifting every voice as we continue to push for local content. And let's be reminded that integration without preparation is frustration. Another Sapphire sponsor this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is the RMB brand, which is the corporate and investment banking division of the First Rand Group in Namibia. This group is led by Mr. Philip Chapman, the Chief Executive Officer of RMB Namibia, and this Sapphire sponsor is providing strategic leadership to deliver shared prosperity for Namibia's long-term sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage for his remarks, Mr. Philip Chapman.
A big thank you to the Master of Ceremonies, and allow me to stand on the protocols that has been observed. It is indeed an honor to be part of such an immaculate event and to have an audience of this magnitude attending today's session. I really want to commend Salma and her team for delivering such an outstanding event for all of us in Namibia, but also for our global audience to come together and discuss pertinent matters on this very, very important industry. Thank you, Salma. Please allow me to briefly introduce RMB Namibia and as part of the First Rand Group. On the screen you will see we are a diversified financial services group operating across the continent, but particularly here in Namibia. We have RMB, which is our corporate and investment banking brand, where we support investments and major corporates in Namibia. We also have the FNB brand, which is our brand which supports the retail and commercial banking business in Namibia. And I wanted to at least create some clarity as we get some questions as to who is RMB, who is FNB, and who is First Rand. So hopefully after today, you will have a bit of a better grasp as to where RMB fits. We have offices in 9 African countries. We have done transactions in 35 African countries, and we have offices globally in the US, the UK, India, and China, supporting our broad client base across the world. So now that you know who we are and what we do, you'll probably ask, why is RMB sharing the stage at the Namibian International Energy Conference? While there are many reasons for this, we have one very pertinent reason. And it is that as RMB, we have a vision to build an enabling and long-term sustainable Namibia, a Namibia which will serve all of her people now and in generations to come. The announcement of the significant hydrocarbon finds over the 12 to 18-month period, as well as the insights being shared at this conference, all points to a new economy that is rapidly developing. This new economic developments calls for action from all of us to develop this in a way that will benefit Namibia and its people. We need a collaborative approach. We need corporates, we need banks, we need local content, smaller SMEs, and individuals in Namibia to all take up this baton, to play their rightful role in developing the oil and gas and energy industry in Namibia. RMB has been a key enabler in developing other sectors over the past 3 decades. We trust that we can do the same by enabling you to develop your business in Namibia at the greater benefit of Namibia as a whole. I conclude by saying RMB is committed to the energy development journey, but the African proverb states, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Let us go together as partners to build a long-term sustainable Namibia.
Thank you very much, Philip. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And may that guide us for the rest of these proceedings over the next 2 days. Our final opening remark is from the country chair of the Shell Exploration and Production Company Namibia, indeed a Sapphire sponsor, Mr. Eduardo Rodrigues. He was appointed as recently as the 1st of April 2024, and it is not an April Fool's joke. As country chair, he's actually been around the block with similar assignments in various other countries, including Sao Tome and Principe, Equatorial Guinea, Ecuador, Colombia, Central America, and the Latin Caribbean. I can't wait to meet him so I can also share my Caribbean side with him too. Perhaps he's speaking patois. His rich background has him navigate issues of complexity across industries with ease and aplomb, particularly championing initiatives cutting across multiple industries to prioritize local content and social investment, as well as promote investment in the upstream sector. It is endearing to note that he also has focus on his family, enjoying sports and outdoors, and exploring new cultures in his free time. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eduardo Rodrigues.
Honorable Minister Tom Alwendo, honorable ministers, the distinguished government of Namibia, distinguished guests, colleagues, new friends, old friends, and my new Namibia family. Thank you and good morning to all. It is an honor to be part of this event and to join many esteemed representatives of the energy sector here in Namibia and around the world. And it's wonderful too to be in this beautiful setting. It is certainly for me unlike any other conference I have attended. And Selma, all I can say is wow. This is unprecedented. I haven't experienced it. I'm overwhelmed. And to the support that the Ministry of Mines and Energy has given to this event. As a Latin American, Africa has welcomed me in the last 6 years, and now Namibia is giving me a warm welcome. And as a Latin American, Africa, we relate a lot. We relate a lot because we have similar challenges. We have hardworking people that want to make our region a better place, and we are hardworking, and most importantly, we're full of passion. So Namibia has shown me that warm welcome in this is my 3rd week in Namibia, and I'm very proud to be here and hopefully contribute to the progress of this great nation. As I settle into my new role as Shell Country Chair in Namibia, it is clear to me what a special country it is, and it's a privilege for me to lead Shell business in the country. And I could not pass this event without mentioning my dear friend and colleague, Dennis Sekwel, former country chair for Shell Namibia, and he's here today with us. And I'm sure many of you know him well, as all my engagements, his name has come up. Dennis certainly was instrumental in what we have today in Namibia, and for sure, the reason I stand here in front of you today. Dennis, thank you and welcome, and this is your home. Incredibly, this year marks a decade since Shell opened its office in Windhoek. And these last 2 years have been particularly active, to say the least. Together with our joint venture partners, Qatar Energy and NAMCOR, we have worked at an unprecedented pace and scale to understand our license, both the volume resources in place and the commercial potential. Since drilling of our first well graph end of 2021, which established a working petroleum system, we have drilled 6 exploration wells, 3 appraisal wells, and completed 2 flow tests. The most recent activity, we are concluding the exploration well Enigma, being this a further discovery. This phase is thanks to the Ministry of Mines and Energy and those collaborating with us, our partners, including Ochfeld Drilling, who have been operating our rig, the Deep Sea Bolsat, which is the rig we have been using so far. Together, we have been able to safely operate year-round with top quartile drilling performance and across comparable industry benchmarks. Today, in fact, and this is not a coincidence, we mark 500 days of Goal Zero. What is Goal Zero? It is Shell measure for safety with no harm to people and no harm to the environment. Key industry benchmark for all that we're sitting here. And as an intervention, when you walk out of the hallways, there's some obstacles, so please be careful when you're walking around the corridors. Couldn't is this intervention. So this has been a particularly impressive achievement in deep water frontier exploration. We cannot forget about that frontier exploration. After this campaign, the well results have generated a wealth of information about the subsurface, the hydrocarbon volumes in place, and potential flow rates. Our focus now is on taking the time to analyze this vast amount of data, and that will enable us to plan the next step ahead. In Shell, we bring world-leading capabilities in deep water in this task. Years of experience and expertise of projects all over the world are crucial in enabling us to polarize quickly and ensure all development options are being considered. But, of course, we must be humble. Namibia is a frontier location, and we are all learning about the unique geology and the recovery potential. And this proverb was mentioned before, but I think it's key. And the more we repeat, the better it is. It reminds me of the old African proverb: if we want to go fast, we go alone. But if we want to go far, we go together. Exactly. There is no fast track here, but we must move at pace and rest assured that that's what we're trying to do with our operations in Shell. To fully understand the potential of this opportunity, we must work together. It requires all of us here today to collaborate, to learn from each other, to bring the best of each of us has to offer, and to help realize the potential of a future oil and gas industry. Our joint venture is strongly committed to maximize local employment opportunities by supporting local supply chain, prioritizing local goods, services, and skills, and of course, to work hand in hand together with the government on a sustainable local content strategy. We will ensure that local content continues to be a priority on all the future operations that we do in Namibia. I also want to highlight the government creating an enabling environment in which we can invest with confidence. Stability, predictability, good governance, and rule of law all items mentioned by NJ and my colleagues do not happen by accident. They are the foundation pillars of an environment where business, government, society can work together to benefit of all. A very important asset of the Namibia investment case. Oops. Lastly, I want to as well recognize the work of organizations like Petrofund, NAMCOR, and the Namibian Investment and Promotion Board, NIPB, whose leadership makes such a difference. I am, in my short time in Namibia, your best practice is clear to see, and I applaud you for it. In closing, I want to emphasize something that has been repeated. And it's of great satisfaction that we hear everybody aligned with one agenda. But of all this keynote, there are three concepts that I want to emphasize and highlight. The word together, learner mindset, and Namibia investment case. If we all, and I mean all, work together, and every problem and challenge that we face, which we will face many, we will have discussions, but we approach it with a learner mindset, and we never lose the concept of maintaining the Namibia investment case that has been achieved until now, our probabilities, our possibilities of success will increase significantly for the benefit of all, and most importantly, for the benefit of the country of Namibia. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful Congress. Look forward to engaging with everybody. Thank you very much.
The key aspect is that as we are now at the beginning and there are some of these discovery, and for us looking at the data that are at our disposal, I think this is just the beginning. More is yet to come. This is essentially what we are seeing in terms of the data's availability. Of course, we are mindful that we are still at the first stage of the exploration and discovery. We need to move to the appraisal. Appraisals, in some cases, are being to be concluded, and eventually development and production. We are waiting for that day when production will start. And we are not losing sight of the challenges that comes with production. And that's why it is very essential for us to start with a necessary preparation as of now, on the financial side, on the technical ground, on the skill side. And it requires of us as NAMCOR and as a country to prepare ourselves for day one of production. And the preparation for that starts now. In fact, it was supposed to be yesterday. But if we have not yet started, it's now.
Adriano, what impact will Namibia's and also GAP's new oil discoveries have on these countries, on this country, basically around the upstream and the downstream? And you're free to say anything you want to say about the discoveries.
Thank you, Ajuk. Me and Ajuk, we have agreement. He can ask any question he wants, and I answer anything I want. Most of the time, I talk about things that was not exactly what he asked about it, but it's our agreement, so it's working. First of all, is thank you for the congratulations, but we need to thank people that was before us, people who believed in this country, people that maybe we can thank Chevron 1974 to find Kudu, and Marcio Melo, my friend and mentor, is there. Hello, Marcio. That we drilled together 13, 14 years ago, Moosehead. Was non-commercial, but proved that we have a working petroleum system. And all those predecessors that create the platform that allow us to continue to believe on Orange Basin, and we continue to study, and that proved successful. But it's not luck. There's a lot of hard work that in the end pay back. We have lots to do. It's just the beginning, and we're really excited about it. But answer your questions. What's the impact on upstream and what impact in downstream? The downstream can have in countries. So how much time do I have? Because it's such a long answer that maybe I need a day.
I have been told I don't have much time, so
Okay.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, let's go. The issues that we will be facing in country, being well explained by Honorable Minister and others on their speech, these challenges. And the impact will be positive because preparation leads to success. The same way it took us 13, 14 years to understand what we had. We need to prepare today for tomorrow. We will bring lots of activity, and we need to bring the Namibian society together with us. For example, in this project that we just finished, we had 56 Namibian companies operating with us. 15% of our workforce were Namibians. And 25% of the total group were females. So it's possible. But that's just the tip of iceberg. And the impact that we can bring is help the entrepreneurs to create solutions. We will collaborate, create the opportunity, not entitlement, opportunities for them to create the activities that will be utilized by the industry in an efficient manner. And they shall compete. They shall compete between themselves. They shall compete internationally. And we will collaborate for them to reach that level. And it's transformational. Downstream is a different issue. That is, we will also collaborate with the country long-term strategy. Is the idea to be self-sufficient, address energy poverty, that is a critical issue, and at the same time becomes one of the hubs to provide energy to the neighboring countries and to the world. And this will demand a high level, not only of occupation positions, but also on specialization, that will also be transformational for the country. But this will need to come with together. I really appreciate that saying that you can go fast by yourself, but if you want to go far, we need everyone. And we need everyone involved in order to prepare ourselves to address the opportunity when it comes. And there are several ways to do that. We've been collaborating, discussing some importing expertise, bringing activities in order to be the coach of the next step. We cannot, if you put number of jobs the industry will demand in the near future, is quite considerable. And we need to do that in the right way.
My question to you goes with, how can an IOC like yours or anyone on here contribute to these countries' economic development, especially around not local, but Namibian content development and ensuring long-term sustainability for this country?
For us, it's all about, firstly, got to think about why, and from the business case, having access to qualified, reliable, sustainable employees and a local workforce for decades. We're talking about 20, 30, 40 years lifetime asset of a field. It's just business sense and critical. We look to partner really early on, getting collaborative spirit and engagements with the regulators and the ministries. And our best case, we're not doing it right here. We'd love to, but right now we're doing it in Guyana. First discovery 2014, production in 2019, In that time, we've spent $1.2 billion with local suppliers, contributing to the National Fund. We have over 1,500 qualified unique suppliers, Guyanese suppliers, and over 6,000 Guyanese workers contributing to those developments. So that's the end product. I mean, I think that's kind of a vision of what we could aim for. We need the success, obviously, but with working very closely, we would seek to emulate that here in Namibia.
Considering various pathways to achieving first oil, what strategic approaches and industry collaboration are necessary to expedite the process effectively to get to first oil?
At risk of repeating the common theme that was so eloquently put earlier this morning, building on the backs of giants and people who've had conviction, the overnight success of Namibia's exploration, which has taken over 50 years, since before Kudu, the explorers who had the twinkle in their eye to drill first, and the evolution of thoughts and technology, concepts and ideas since then. The path forward is similar to many places in that it takes a village. It is a team sport. And there's three main partnerships that are key to doing this. Nobody does it alone. We talked, and several before have talked about partnering in this very technical, commercially challenging, financially intimidating business to make it right. So it requires partnering on a technical basis with co-owners, with NAMCOR, the national oil company, the service providers, to put technical acumen to work. It has to be partnership with the governments who set the stage and the environment for us to flourish. There's been talk about stability, transparency, common sense. That's essential given the magnitude of time, money, and effort involved by everybody. And we're very encouraged and appreciative of the landscape here in Namibia. And lastly, we talked about license to operate, and Adriano talked about engagement of local communities. The resource owners have to be part of this strategic go forward in order for the business to flourish and the industry to move forward. So I think all of these are here in Namibia, and we're very pleased and encouraged to be part of it.
Thank you. And I must highlight, it's all, if you're Namibian, you have every possibility to be on this stage and be on this room, because in this same room, you have people who look like you and have built so much in this industry and risen to the top. You could not find one other than Mamadou Bey from Chevron. Madam, please stand up, please. An African champion, Simbi Wabote, Shell executive. I think you and Dennis probably have to talk sometimes, but really built and so much years. And I think there's so many Namibians who could be the next Simbi and the next Mamadou Bey. And that is really important because the industry has to look like them. And that brings me to Chana. Give us some key milestones and achievements in Chevron's business in Namibia over the past year also, and looking ahead, what are Chevron's aspirations for the future of its business in this country?
As Chevron, we are very proud to be back in Namibia again for the third time. You're absolutely right. The first discovery in Namibia in 1974 was by Chevron. We're very proud of that. So we have a proud history in Namibia, and we certainly want to continue that. In our third reincarnation of coming back into Namibia, we entered Petroleum Exploration License 90 in the Orange Basin in October of 2022. And immediately after we entered the license, we shot seismic. By the end of the first quarter in 2023, we'd completed our 3D seismic acquisition, which I think is a record speed for Namibia from license to acquiring 3D seismic. And that was in 2023. And in 2024, this year, we are planning to actually drill our first exploration well in our block. So from license execution to drilling a well, the timeline is 2 years. So we've heard a lot about fast tracking activities. That is exactly
Chana,
what we're doing.
I like news.
Yeah.
When should we expect that well?
Fourth quarter, December of this year.
All right, for you guys who like to ride on your upstream, you just said fourth quarter. I didn't say it. Okay. China said fourth quarter.
Yeah. No, exactly. So we are very proud of the pace at which we've executed our work plans, and for us to be successful, there's only so much we can do. The rocks also have to cooperate, but what we've seen in the Orange Basin is very positive, and we are hopeful that we'll also enjoy success there.
From an OPEC perspective, where do you see Namibia really playing? As I heard you talk about the world outlook. Where do you see Namibian molecules playing in the big picture of schemes in the years to come?
The supply is coming from non-OPEC countries, but we expect a certain decline for this non-OPEC supply, mainly what is coming from the US shale. We expect a certain plateauing and peak demand by the end of this decade. I think in fact, production from Namibia will serve to meet this demand in the future. That means it is really on time to have the production in the market, to supply and to meet the demand, the growth of oil.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I would like to introduce our fireside chat between Mr. NJ Ayuk, who will be chatting with our Honorable Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Toma Windo.
I think most in this room want to get right into what you define as Namibian content. And can you please, before you even expand on that, in your speech, you talked about a policy that you're still working on. Why is it taking so long to have that policy ready and to have it pass? What are the challenges that you have?
I think it depends where you sit and whether you think this is going to be slow or maybe too fast. I'm sure there are also those who think it's too fast. What you really want to be sure of is that local content must be something that speaks to the reality of a country. We can't simply go to countries that have got local content policies in place and simply just take their local content and make it ours. We need to develop a local content that is fit for purpose, that is fit for our realities. And therefore, we have to make sure that understand where we are, understand where we want to go, and how would that work. And right now, that's what we're trying to do, to actually really understand what it will take for us to have an effective local content that's really going to make sure that once it's really there and it's passed, it can really transform the economy. If you don't do that correctly from the beginning, as I was saying, you may then try to change every time because we have not spent enough time to make sure that the policy is actually fit for purpose. And that is what we're trying to do. And this, for me, is very critical. In fact, as I was coming to this event this morning, Namibia has got this vibrant media. Everybody can say say whatever they want to say. So I was listening to somebody on the radio saying, "Well, we hear about this local content in the oil and gas sector. Why should we believe it that is really going to transform the country? After all, this is not the only natural resource that we have got in a country. We have got minerals. What did it do for the country? We have got other resources. What did it do for the economy? And therefore, why would we want to think this is going to work? And therefore, it's very important that we make sure that this is going to be a Namibian content that is understood by all of us, and what role we can play in that local content. And therefore, for me, okay, well, I was actually earlier saying, it's also okay to go fast, but maybe also not too fast, because then you are going to miss some of the steps and then end up having a local content policy that does not really give the results. And I think the consequence of that will be much more dire than taking a bit of time to make sure that you got it right from the beginning.
Minister, I hear you saying that, but if you look at your investors in here, and when they've heard the word, again, I like Namibian content, but when they heard the word local content, which I think most of the investors will say that's a good thing, we want to accomplish it. Simbi Wabote wouldn't be here without Shell's massive investment in him and him being where he is today. But how do we balance everything to ensure that the companies can work and also give them the flexibility to still be able to hire Namibians, but also still be able to drive those projects, whether you want to go far or you want to go fast? How are you going to ensure a rightful, healthy balance?
Yeah, it
wasn't a tough question.
No. Yeah, you need to have a healthy balance. As I also saying that we need to attract the investors in the country. And as I was saying, we need not just any investor, we really want to have those savvy investors, people who also understand what they are doing as well. Now, I think behind your question, NJ, you seem to be saying, well, if you are going to implement this local content where you are going to demand that every job must be done by Namibians, aren't you just simply going to delay because now these guys need to go and now you are going to demand that they must have people who do not have the skills? If that is the real issues, we are very pragmatic. I did say, right now, we probably do not have all the right skills, especially high-level skills in the oil and gas industry, because this is a new industry. But we should not use that as an excuse why we should not start to build those skills. Because if you look across the continent, I always, we are responsible for mining as well. Across the continent, we always told that you don't have skills and therefore the investors will come with their skills and their capital. And now, in the end, it didn't really have much impact on the continent simply because of that argument of not having skills. So we recognize that we do not have those skills, but we're saying we need them to have a strategy that we, together with the investors, all come up with a strategy to say, how do we then correct that situation of not having skills in the countries? And I also know that sometimes it depends also where you are looking at. I have also, not only in the oil and gas sector, now and then we hear about, Namibians don't have skills. But for me, somehow, when I look for those skills, we tend to find them. So maybe also not looking at in the right places where you can find those skills. So, but the answer really is to say, yes, we are going to start with an intensive training program that is earmarked to make sure that we fast track the development of the skills that we need to have. Yes, we are not going to demand that Namibians that are not having the capability to do the work will do the work. But what are we going to do is together, let's identify that is what is required and let's together do that. And I have to say, our conversation, at least with the investors in the industry that we have now, we have had that discussion. And I'm happy to say that I think we are all of the same view that that's what we need to do, to have that collaboration between the government and the sector to make sure that we accelerate the skills so that at least we have no excuse not to do that.
Because again, if we do not have this, I did say you have policies, but you also need to have people who can implement that local content thing. So if we do not have that, 10 years later, 20 years later, and this is a long-term industry, 20 years later, you're still having the same argument to say we cannot have Namibians in some of the critical positions or performing some of the services because they do not have the skills. So it's a collaboration effort that we have to make sure that at least we build those skills going forward.